Zhao and Meg turned around. It was Green. Green had put on his armor. To others, wearing armor on their bodies would be cumbersome, but it didn't bother Green. His footsteps were normal, and even seemed ethereal. Thanks to the benefits of the space, Green's strength had reached the peak of the 8th level. He was just waiting for the opportunity to make a breakthrough and become a 9th level warrior. Then he would be among the few strongest people in the world. Every large clan needed an extremely strong expert, otherwise that clan would have no way to escape the bad luck of being swallowed. The Buddha clan was one such example. Although Green and Marin were very strong experts at the 8th level, it was nothing in comparison to the 9th. With those two, the Buddha clan could be considered very powerful, but not invincible. Still, although they weren't able to stop the Buddha clan's banishment, with their strength, they were able to deter the nobles from trying to completely wipe out the Buddha clan. When Zhao saw Green come up, he asked, "Grandpa Green, is it time?" They had been waiting for someone from the Marquis Company to send the rabbits that Green bought. That was why Zhao asked that question. Green nodded. "They will arrive soon. With 100 gold coins, I bought a total of 300 blue-eyed rabbits. And with the remaining 10 gold coins, I bought 5 scaled wildebeests, which will be used to pull the carriages that are carrying the rabbits." Scaled wildebeests were a common spirit beast on the continent. Although they weren't fast at running, they were very strong, making them suitable for carrying things. Zhao agreed with this purchase. Although they could have just asked the Marquis Company to help with the transport, buying the scaled wildebeests was the right choice. Once he brings them into the space, the scaled wildebeests would reproduce, becoming another source of income. "Grandpa Green, remember to not allow them to drive the carriages up to the villa, or else they will be attacked by the undead," Zhao said. Green nodded. "Well, I'll go make the arrangements." He didn't oppose Zhao using the undead to stop those carriages. After all, Zhao wasn't just pretending to be a black mage, but a necromancer who used black magic. If he didn't use his undead, then that wouldn't be normal. It could be said that if there was a mage on the continent that didn't use slaves, it was a black mage, since some of them could just summon undead skeletons to do their work. Plus, the undead were easier to use than slaves. So right now, Zhao sending some humanoid undead to help Green with the carriages was completely normal. Sean worked for the Marquis Company branch in the Purcell Duchy. He was just a small steward, and his main job was to manage the porters. His position in the company wasn't that high. But Sean also had another job. He was also responsible for finding news for the Marquis Company. He had a special way of finding things out, which was to check the goods that were being transported. This allowed him to collect a lot of useful information. It looked difficult, but in fact, it wasn't. You could tell a lot of things from the stuff people move around in the Purcell Duchy. Even if the stuff was wrapped up, you could learn what it was from its size and weight. The Marquis Company was a well-known firm throughout the continent, and so there were a lot of people in a cooperative relationship with them. One of which was Sean, who no one paid attention to because of his menial job. They wouldn't suspect him of gathering information, some of which was quite useful. No one on the continent, including Sean, had ever heard of the black mage named Zhao before. But recently, he became a household name in the Purcell Duchy. Even beggars knew who he was. The most Sean was able to find out so far was that Zhao had the Marquis Company's VIP gold medal which had the banner symbol on it. That could mean that those rumors of Zhao saving Laura could be true. Because of this, he wanted to pay closer attention to Zhao. When Green came to buy things, Sean immediately went to the Marquis Company and won the task of helping him mount the blue-eyed rabbits on the carriages and transporting them to Stony Mountain. Shaun was very enthusiastic in helping Green, seeking ways to please him. He wanted to leave a good impression, and did his best to talk to Green on their way to Stony Mountain. Everyone in the Purcell Duchy knows that a very powerful and mysterious black midge now lived on Stony Mountain. But it was just a desolate mountain with nothing but rocks and stones. How could rocks be useful for black magic? It was because no one knew that a lot of rumors about the black midge sprung up in Casa City. They say that he was preparing a powerful spell to attack Casa City. They say that he was collecting corpses to help him practice black magic. They say that he was using the hot spring to wash his body with something evil. Out of all these rumors flying back and forth, there was no good words that were said. But Shaun knew that what the people were saying was not true. After making his living collecting information for the Marquis Company, Shaun had some understanding of black midges. He was very clear on the fact that black midges simply weren't as terrible as the rumors say. They just acted a little strange. In fact, there were a lot of black midges that were good. A lot of the ways to treat traumas were created by black midges. But in the continent, light midges were very popular, while black midges were unwelcomed. However, these rumors had nothing to do with Shaun. What he was most concerned about was find out more about Zhao the Black Midge, and that was why he was going to Stony Mountain. Shaun wasn't part of the Marquis clan, but he was one of the people that were loyal to Laura Marquis. Supposedly, Laura's father, Kevin Marquis, was terrible at business, so he was assigned to run the Marquis Company branch in the small duchy owned by the Purcell clan. But everyone didn't realize that Laura was so good at business, with skills impressive enough to take over for her father. Now she had a confidant in each store that she ran, and Shaun was one of them. Shaun's allegiance was only to Laura, and because of this, he was concerned about Zhao. With all these rumors of Zhao saving Laura or attempting to kill Laura, in the end, he had to know what kind of person Zhao was. But Shaun didn't think that with less than a day's journey left to Stony Mountain, Green would tell them to continue transporting the shipment while he ran ahead. Although Shaun didn't know why Green wanted to buy so many blue-eyed rabbits, he didn't ask. It was clear that there were some things that should never be asked. Once Shaun reached Stony Mountain, he could see that it was shrouded by a black fog. Although this blanket of darkness was very strange, Shaun knew that it wasn't some sort of offensive magic, and was simply meant to block people's attention. Shaun stopped at the foot of the mountains. He didn't know what to do next until he suddenly heard a burst of footsteps. Along with the footsteps came the sound of bones crackling across the ground. When Shaun and his men heard these sounds, they couldn't help but feel scared. Suddenly, they saw Green, who was wearing full armor, appear in front of them. Shaun didn't actually know Green's name. He only knew that he was a very strong warrior and a servant to the Black Midge. Shaun went up to greet the warrior, but then he suddenly stopped and his face became pale. That was because behind Green was a lot of undead. Green had brought 20 humanoid undead to help him with the carriages. These undead used to be ordinary warriors, but now they had the appearance of dark green skeletons. They simply looked monstrous.